to the knife that you sharpen with your life. Say goodbye to the dark side.
Greetings, fellow Gravewalkers, and welcome back to another video and a sequel to Rare Titles, because I made some blunders and I feel like I can do better. So let's not faff around and let's get into it.
Ready for hunt? Good. So are we.
First up, we have the notorious Beast Olog. These big boys have shoulder pads for days made out of dire Caragor heads, which besides being one of my favorite shoulder pad designs in the entire game, it also gives them this unique look. These guys are once per playthrough, and obviously created by having an Olog cheat death after killing them with a beast, which obviously leaves some gnarly scars on them.
Do not know what they guard, but do know it is ours.
Another thing you'll notice immediately about them is that they have a very low growl in their voice, which makes total sense with being called the Beast. They also like to howl, but I couldn't get it on video. Also, just look at that happy grin as he rips his head off.
They try to stop us, they die. They do not try to stop us, they are weak. Still die. Ha ha ha! Good to surprise victims. You look surprised.
And here's our nice up-close and personal of the Beast, as they do have a lot of details. Now granted, the scarring on them will be different depending on just what scar you get. I have this cool one with the scar going straight up the chest and coming up to the left shoulder, and the one coming down the left arm. There's a nice up-close on that Caragor shoulder pad. Here's a nice look at his face. You can see that he's got the 3 claw marks going down it, though the third one I believe is hidden behind the shame mark. You can see on his face, but you got those claw marks on him there. He's got these awesome shoulder pads, obviously the loincloth, because this Olog doesn't wear pants, I guess. Makes sense. And he's got the hair on his arms. So all around, an awesome looking Olog. And their eyes glow. And here's our next cool guy, and one I'm sure we all know. It's the Machine. An Uruk whose only goal is to spread the mechanicalness of Mordor. And we'll hear him talk in a second, but here I am just showing off all of the detail on the Machine, because there's a lot. Such as his arm here obviously being pretty much rehobbled together with metal from the elbow down. I mean, you can see just how much of his arm is messed up there, and I was trying to see if his hand was actually, you know, real, and it looks like it is. So I think that's the real hand, but it is really being held together. As you can see, he's got a huge amount of metal holding together his chest. You have this strap here. I'm not quite sure what some of this stuff is for, like, obviously, you got the head thing going on. I assume that's there to keep his head together, but I am not sure on that. He's got a completely false left leg, I'm sure you'll notice. And around his back, you can see what's holding him together here. And all around, the Machine looks awesome. So, let's get to him talking.
I am but one machine. But it is the machine of Mordor that will consume Middle-earth.
As you can tell, the Machine has his own custom voice, which I'm sure most of you already knew. And he has a legendary scar that can only be created once per save, and mostly by cleaving him in two. I don't really know much more to say about him besides that. So let's cut to another clip of him hopefully getting a kill.
Aye, sir! I was having a rough day until now. Killing you will make everything better.
Next up, we have one of the legendary scars that you'll probably get first, the Flame of War. These guys are created by, well, either exploding or burning an Uruk and having them cheat death, and they decide to become a freaking guy that embodies war, so, you know, pretty cool. They have their own custom voice and come back as legendaries, and they become fiery, so they're pretty good, and especially like mine, who's a berserker. Let's watch him get a kill, shall we? Hopefully. And here's a nice look at his body, mine the defender putting a spear through him. As you can see, he's got the burns going down his arms and his chest and his face, and he looks like he's been through hell and back. He's also got a scarred eye on the left side, which after being burnt as badly as the Flame of War has, it actually makes complete sense. Eye damage is real with him.
Kill all orcs, but Gorgoroth live. May be useful.
Next up, we have the Guardian of Mordor, and these guys can be both Ologs and Uruks, so don't be fooled by my big boy here. And there are, well, the Guardian of Mordor. It's a rather awesome title, and he's not super terrible. He's actually pretty good, and I love how he looks. So let's actually cut to the bug that happened while I was recording really quick, and then we'll go back to the Olog because a weird thing happened. Yep, I glitched through the arena wall. I don't know how, I don't know why, but my best guess is that because I double jumped, I must have hit the collision seam at just the right angle that I went through it, and I couldn't figure out a way to get out, so I literally had to wait for one of the Ologs to kill each other, and then I could teleport out. So let's just see the result of that. Now let's have a look at the big guy, and as you can see, he's got a black version of the Trophy Hunter helmet, which looks pretty cool. Mine's a commander, so he's got that black flag going on, and a cape. I think this title has capes. He's got the Outlaw shoulder pads with the little fur, which looks very cool. He's got black war paint, and he's got the spiky Outlaw gloves. Quite hard to dislike this guy.
What's happening here? Doing a little hunting? Better be stealthy about it.
Next up, we have one I'm sure we all love, the Scorpion. Now, this is not my original one, as they're once per playthrough, and mine got murdered. This one's named Karuk. I think he's related to the Blood Axe with how freaking powerful he is. Let's watch him murder the Disgusting, then we'll take a very close look at him.
I'm calling you out, and then I'm knocking you down, running you through, and...
And here he is. And what's interesting about him is I believe they're always Machine Tribe, which makes it interesting because that's a Terror Tribe helmet, but in gold. So that's cool. They got an almost dark-like chest plate, also in gold, and they have those cool swords, which I believe all Scorpions have. And black paint. Don't forget that. This guy's awesome.
Come on, just try and catch me.
Next up is what I believe to be the longest title in the entire game, the Champion of Gorgoroth. Now, he doesn't have any cool dialogue about how he's the best and from the plains of the lava place. No, there's none of that. He's got basic Uruk dialogue, and mine's weak as hell. He almost died in the filming of this. So there's no footage of him murking this guy. Instead, it's him almost dying to him. I don't have a lot to say on this guy. He's got an awesome name, but mine's just piss poor. So, I guess here's him doing something. Sorry, he actually does get the kill, but he steals it from my Painseeker here. So, not only is he not good at his job, he's also a kill stealer. And it's not even anything interesting. He just beats him over the back of the head with that thing. Like, damn, it just looks like that one Sheba bonking the other on the head. That's it. And since I'm assuming you want to see what he looks like, there he is. Mine's a machine tribe, so he looks like a basic machine. And not very cool.
You mess with the wrong Uruk, Zugor, and you pay with your life.
Next up, we have a title that I like, but I'm not sure I'm sold on my own one. This is the Broken Shield. You get him by breaking a defender captain's shield and having them cheat death. You can do that by just throwing a rock at them with a Graug. I'm not a fan of mine, not really, because he was made from a ghoul hunter / slayer, so he's got the ghoul arms on his chest. Just not a huge fan of how that looks, as I feel it doesn't match the helmet. Think Warmonger would look better with him, but the title is cool, and he does have a custom appearance. Obviously, he's got that custom helmet, which you'll probably have seen on ones like the Wall, and his shield has a really unique look to it, so let's get to that. And here he is, and because he's a defender, obviously he has a shield. Here's his cool looking fish head helmet thing that looks like it has frills. And here is the dope shield that has all these spikes and all this unique stuff. And yes, his feral claw does cut through the shield. I don't know how or why that happens. I guess they never really planned for this to happen. Kinda cool.
Time to start this! Or... yeah, I guess it's time to start this.
Next up, we have the fan favorite, the Agonizer. Now, these guys are voiced by a name I'm not going to try to pronounce, because I don't think I can do it correctly, but from what I know, he's a comedian. I like this guy. I like this Uruk. He's funny, he's obvious, but he's got more humor than the obvious. Not that the obvious isn't humorous, but, yeah, mine's not super great. Mine could be better, and I'm pretty sure they're once per playthrough, but don't quote me on that. So let's move on to him hopefully getting a kill. Never mind, because he was so weak, he didn't actually get the kill. I did. Because I didn't want him to die. So I guess here's the Olog dying?
Wow.
And here's a cool look at mine. He's got the Warg pelt helmet with the 2 Warmonger shoulder pads that I love. And the tank-like chest plate. So, all around, very cool looking.
Hey, hello! I have no idea how this is gonna end.
Oh, I can't wait to see the looks on their faces when we kill them.
Next up, we have the of Lithlad, and while I can't confirm it, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're always marauders, as the DLC tells us that most Lithlad Uruks are marauders. And, this one's pretty good. He's got some damn good abilities. And, let's just cut to him murdering, since I stand around a lot in this clip. never mind. I had to save this orc too because he was too weak to fight for himself. And here's a close-up of him, even though it looks like he's bending over to pick up his keys. His key-defining trait being his human sword, which, well, a couple orcs have. It's not a very common sight, so it's cool to see. And here we are at the end, and I do not have a pretender to show off, so here's some pictures of them. The pretender obviously pretends to be the tower, except you'll notice that everything on him is fake. None of the things that are air quotes dug into his body actually are, and it's mostly cloth just laid over him. I would argue that the best part about them is promoting their decoys, as you can get some awesome looking uruks with it. And that brings us to the end of the video, so if you did enjoy, consider subscribing. I hear that's what I'm supposed to say. And hey, maybe check out one of these videos. Wait a minute, there's only one. Check out whatever's in the lower left. It's cool, I'm sure it is. Hopefully.